My advice is probably to policymakers torn in two directions between protection and clubbing together. So my advice is to focus on the clubbing together and try and minimize the protection.
Uncertainty is normality, and it will be for the foreseeable future. So for businesses and decision makers which face uncertainty, agility and adaptability is the answer.
So you have to have the right kind of expertise and the right kind of leadership, and you have to have a marketing plan for what you're doing. So you can't eliminate uncertainty, but you can manage it.
My advice would be for UK government is not to panic, not to make any knee-jerk reactions and see how it plays out as they have been doing, and to engage proactively with their regional partners and devolved governments and key stakeholders to understand the key impacts on different sectors and different regions within the UK.
Regardless of you being an individual, a business, an organization, or a government, we're all dealing with trade uncertainty right now. So whatever your position is, I think one of the best things we can do is try and figure out who we can trust, who we can depend on in the future, and then create collaborations and cooperations with those who are of like minds.
Adapt, stop assuming we have a right to set the rules, and we're going to have to start engaging with China and other countries in looking at the world we have now. We will need some new rules because we have an open world now, but different countries doing different things. We need to put trust back into the world trade system.
China is becoming more predictable and more reliable than the United States. And this actually influences the way you should be thinking about future alliances.
My one piece of advice would be to policymakers, and that's to really understand what trade data is telling us about trade, that you cannot focus too much on trade in goods and you must focus on trade in services.
We've talked a lot today about multilateralism and multilateral forums, but there are lots of other types of forums and coordination that happens in a regional basis, on an ad hoc basis. My call to action is think about what the different cooperation forums are, how we can use them, and are we leveraging all of them equally and in an aligned way.
Information is key to understand the economics and the legality of trade. That is very important for everybody, from the policy perspective, from the economic perspective, and from the legal perspective.
Ultimately, it's about building a relationship with another business or another supplier that needs your goods and services, and it's building those firm interpersonal relationships. It's also very, very important to make sure that you've got all of the best and latest information at hand. So always make sure that you have access to really good trade policy newsletters and listen to the best trade policy podcasts.